Okay. Hello. I don't see you. Hola, hola, hola. Hello. Um, a ver, let's see. A ver, now. Let me see it on my screen. So I put it on the English category. I hope my English is correct. You understand my English, no? So, well, maybe you want to introduce yourself.
I reached out to the divine and asked, please show me something better, show me something
Yes.
fulfilling, something where I can make meaningful change in the world and still take care of my family. And I was delivered in a beautiful package, a wonderful online opportunity where I am now able to give tons of time with my family and do a lot of inner growth and inner work with my children alongside of me through every step of the way and provide for them.
Yeah.
So here I am now seeking just to make as many connections around the world as possible to open up people's minds, expand their conscience, and really shift the paradigms in this world to one of light and collaboration and just smash those old ways because things are rapidly changing.
Yes, the first thing it was not put out because the mic was off. I mean, I had to know, but I only say the first thing like she's a light worker, no.
Yes.
Well, it was not really important, but anyways, the only first seconds was not out. But well, she
Okay.
was saying she's a light worker, and well, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all
So
perfect.
yes, no, because maybe because you are a YouTuber too, no, and you were interested on Twitch, I had to change the configuration. Anyways, so I'm Spanish, no, but I will try to do my best on English. Well, I'm a light worker too, no, and maybe you can explain to people who are not related with that what is, in your own words, what is a light worker.
Um, a light worker is someone who really taps into the universe and divine guidance and your highest self, your inner being. You seek a way to quiet your mind and allow that light to flow through you and impress upon the people around you. You really seek to find the good in the world, to support the good in the world, and to really come in contact with as many souls as possible in order to lift them up and show them the true nature of the world, which is light and pure love.
Yes, yes. What can you say to people who are in cynicism, cynismo in Spanish, cynicism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cynis? Cynicism, cynismo. I write to you on Facebook, okay? Can you read the text?
I think it'll pop up. I'm on my phone, but yeah, try it. Are you gonna like
S-
message me? Is that what you're saying?
yes. Now on.
Okay, so the people, so you're referring to the people who are like negative about it, like
Yes, like
don't believe in it, like talking down about it,
yes, it's
don't
like
want to grasp onto it.
yes, it's like oh, you are.
So,
Tell, sorry.
okay, so yeah, so I am not here to like fully, I'm not here to grab anyone and shake them and convince them, right? Like, I am here to show a way of being. It's not about what you're saying, it's about how you are being. I respect everyone's path. Some people are ready for it, some people are not ready for it. And I fully embrace the fact that everyone is walking their own path. Everyone is ready for a certain level. So really what I do, what I say to people who are critical about it or don't believe in it, maybe they're not ready to step into their power, and that's okay. But I certainly will not address them with any negativity because that just feeds in to what they're surrounding themselves with. I really just seek to continue to love those around me and continue to share the light and maybe lift them up a little bit, because I definitely have people in my life that are very negative, that really don't embrace what I'm doing. And really, what happens, I found, is those people just kind of shut you off and turn away from you. And that's okay. Maybe at some point they will come back. But I just kind of let them be. And I have noticed that the people who question what I'm doing, who questioned it at the beginning, a lot of them have turned around and really shifted their behavior. And they've shifted their behavior in a way that I didn't force it upon them. I just energetically held myself in a positive space and naturally shifted their behavior and the world around me.
Yes, it's because I received that criticisms too, no? Like, oh, you are funny baloney, you are, I don't know the word, like,
Yeah.
you are crazy, what you are about, this is the real world. So, I noticed you like it in Eliaben's post I put on my wall. She says something along like, you don't try to wake up everybody. This. I think we fall into that a lot. No, like, oh, everybody have to wake up. No, can you say something about that? Like, maybe we like workers want to wake up everybody. Can you say something about that?
Yes. So what I say about that is I remember when I first started doing this, I was really nervous about what the world was going to think about me. I was really nervous about how people were going to react to me. And then I cared. I cared what people thought about what I was doing. Um, but like you said, we're not speaking to everyone. So when I was able to step out of my comfort zone and really not care what other people thought, that's when I really stepped into my power, because I knew that by the law of attraction, I would draw in the people who would need and be ready for my message. And by the law of attraction, I would repel those who were not ready for my message. So, really, I stepped into sharing my message, and I realized that um, you can't make anybody walk this path with you. You can't. And if I was trying to make someone walk this path with me, I would be compromising my own vibrational space. So, it's one of those things where you've got to keep doing the work, the inner work, and you've got to seek to maintain your vibration, so you don't want to let that go. You don't want to trade that in order to try to convince someone else. You've just got to honor their path. You've got to honor everyone's path, right?
Yes, yes. This is very
So it's kind of like ease and flow. That's how, it's like ease and flow. You sprinkle people, and either they're open to it and they want more, or they're not ready for it.
Yeah, this happening to me too, no? Well, now Felicenda enters as a viewer. I interviewed her too. She's Spanish, but she's talking in English. Hola, Felicenda. Puedes hacer preguntas, yo le traduzco, o si sabes inglés, me escuchas, ¿no? Porque no sé si me oyes o no, yo creo que sí, se me oye, ¿no? Vale, sí. Okay, what I was saying. Yeah, sometimes, for example, with family, no? Maybe you know about this. If you wake up, for example, in my case, usually your family is not wake up. Yes, maybe for some people, yes, but it's very common that our families don't agree, no? They say you are crazy or you are in a cult or what are you doing with your life, and I think it comes from fear. And for example, now that holidays come, the winter, the Navidades, how you say in English, the
Christmas.
Christmas time is a difficult time, no? Maybe with the families, because maybe you don't engage with them in years or during the year, and maybe you have to renew it. Well, this year is different with the pandemic thing, but maybe you can say something about that, like how we can deal with family members because it's your family after all, but sometimes they are in a very different vibe, no? How we can relate with our families.
So, what I have found in dealing with my family is that some of my family members are really open and perceptive to it, and some of them are not. And I really am very indirect. I've never really um, sat any family member down except for my kids, but that's different. And like said to them, this is what I believe now. It's all very indirect. I mean, and maybe my situation is a little different because I'm very open on Facebook about what I'm doing. So they've seen that shift. But really, I've had some interesting conversations with like my grandmother and my aunt and my mom. And what they explained to me, what they've seen is, or not seen, they've felt the change. What they felt for me is that I have become a more confident, relaxed person. I used to be very angry and very on edge. And now that I have found this new way of life and recognize the control that I have and recognize the power is within your mind, they explain to me that I really have become a different person and they feel it from me. And this is just one small example. My mom, I'm really close to my mom, but again, I didn't sit her down and tell her about this change. And I don't try to force feed any of it to her. But I've noticed that she's taken on thank you, thank you, thank you. And so any light worker knows that when you hear someone say thank you 3 times in a row, that they've been touched in some way by the light aspect because it's just not commonplace for people to say thank you 3 times in a row, right? And she acknowledged that to me once. She was watching a commercial, and at the very end, they said thank you 3 times, and she pointed that out to me. And I thought that was really a lovely expression, a lovely example of how my shift has affected her without force feeding it to her,
Yes. Wow,
you know?
this is a wow.
Yeah,
This,
yeah,
yes, you mean more that in the words convincing, more with your energy, no? Like if you emphasize change, they feel it. Yes, but I have a bad, even me, I have a bad. When some people they feel the change actually, but they want you back. Maybe you notice that in some cases, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you change it a lot. Then it's like you get some reflections, like they want you to the old version. You know what I mean?
yes,
So,
yeah.
can you say something about that?
Yeah, and something I find too is something you have to be careful about too is when you are used to interacting with a certain group of people and they have and historically they have brought out a certain type of behavior in you, you have to be careful about that because I definitely have found that when I'm hanging out with friends or family members that I have known for a very long time, that you really hold on to those old patterns and energetically really it feels safe, right? And so they want you to behave in the old way because that feels safe to them, even though it might not be the best, but it's safe and it's what they know. So I do find that I really have to be careful with that because I can fall into some old patterns of complaining or gossiping. So you've just got to be very intentional about that. I'm fortunate in that I haven't had a lot of pushback from my family. My family is just really supportive because we are a very close family that is very much focused on our children, and they see that I have become a much better mother and a much better guide to them. I do have one family member who has given me a little bit of pushback, but I really have just chosen not to engage. And this is someone that I didn't have a lot of contact with to begin with. And so I really just kind of shut it down. The father of my children always thought I was a little too woo woo. I've always been a little too much of a hippie for him, and that was part of our issue. But really, what I found even from him is that I know that he hears the kids talking differently. I know that he feels a shift in their energy. I know that some of their comments confuse him sometimes, but even him, it's like because of the space that I choose to remain in energetically, he doesn't give me a whole lot of grief about it. He doesn't give me any grief about it. And really, I have seen his behavior drastically shift just because of the space that I am in energetically. And I have naturally like pulled him up with me, and we don't really have conflict anymore. So
Yes,
that's really all I can do to speak to that piece, because I really have been quite fortunate there.
yes, wow, yes, very interesting, no? Yes,
Yeah.
it's like sometimes the surroundings, like maybe we can be spiritual or whatever label, but yes, the bad is sometimes we tend to react, the reaction. For example, here on Twitch, a lot of people enter the channels so the streamer can react, they want a reaction from you. They are used to
Yeah.
that, no? So,
Because it's an addiction.
an
It
addiction.
it
Yes.
it is physiologically an addiction.
Mm.
And Joe Dispenza is really great about helping you understand the physiology behind quantum physics and the physiology behind the woo woo stuff that we do. Like, it's real, it's proven by science. And so what happens is when people are in specific situations that they keep repeating over and over again, my ex-husband and I used to have a cycle of about every 6 to 8 weeks, we would have a big blow up. And our brains were chemically like dependent on that. And so when you shift a behavior and your body's like, what the hell is going on? Like, I need this release. So I'm going to find any way that I possibly can to ramp those chemicals up again. So that's why you have to be so intentional about it. And, if there is someone that you're interacting with that doesn't have the control that you have, then take it upon yourself to be the powerful one to not engage, because eventually that need for that chemical release, it will go away. But you've just got to be very, very intentional about it so that you can untrain that part of your brain and create those new synapses, those new neuronal pathways to negate that.
Yes. Eh, Someone enter. Andrés, ¿entiendes inglés o no? Maybe I can explain to him in Spanish a little. Sí, yes. ¿Entiendes inglés, Andrés, o no? Well, I say in Spanish, okay? So this way we sing in better because this is important because this happen a lot on Twitch, for all the platform, everywhere this is happening. And also I know the streamers fall into that trap, they give to the viewers what they want, a reaction, yes? But then the stream is not growing, you end up mad at people, so no entiendes. Andrés, estamos hablando de lo que son las reacciones. Le estoy diciendo que mucha gente quiere que el streamer reaccione, ¿no? Y nos está explicando que eso es una adicción, ¿no? Adicción al conflicto, adicción al drama, adicción a una reacción, ¿sí? Entonces lo que está diciéndonos es que si nosotros tenemos un poco más de conciencia, solo un poco, que no tenemos que darle a la gente lo que quiere, ¿no? O sea, no darles una reacción. Y hoy me ha pasado con unos viewers que me han hecho una raid y no he reaccionado. ¿Qué pasa? Que por privado te escriben, quieren una reacción. Y ya nos está explicando que es una adicción, ¿vale? Que es una adicción como cualquier otra y eventualmente si dejamos de darle al cuerpo, al cerebro, eso que está pidiéndonos, esa reacción, eventualmente la adicción desaparecerá y podremos estar en otro nivel, o sea, podremos disfrutar de otra forma. Ok, this is it. I explained it already to him. Ok, si tenéis alguna pregunta me la podéis decir y yo se la hago en inglés, ¿vale? Podéis preguntar cualquier cosa. Ella es una light worker, ¿vale? Es una persona que sabe mucho. Le podéis preguntar cualquier cosa. Ok, I'm saying to them, they can ask you something, ok?
Okay.
Okay, this sometimes because maybe you become a streamer too on Twitch. Okay, I want you on Twitch. Okay, yes, it's funny. Also, something I'm learning is about being, how to say in English, big fun. Maybe we can explain to us why we human beings have to be so serious, or in the drama, because maybe if you enjoy something, well, it's the same question, but in a different wave, no? When you are enjoying something, yes, some people thinks this is too good, too good to be true. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Can you relate to that? Why we cannot be happy? Why happiness is bad? You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
concept, yes.
Well, I think a lot of people are raised to believe that they're undeserving. I mean, look at the media, look at the atmosphere that our mainstream media fosters. I mean, the atmosphere of the world is one of conflict and drama. It's what we are raised on, it's what we are raised to believe is normal. I mean, what is the number one industry in the world? It's war and weapons, you know? So it's what we are programmed into, and that's why we're here to stop that negative spiral. Because when you understand that your true nature is not one of scarcity, it is of abundance. And so you look at nature and you look at the world around you, and where is the proof? The proof is in how many trees do you see? How many leaves do you see? How many blades of grass do you see? How many cars do you see? Abundance is everywhere. When you are raised in a drama filled environment where you look on the TV and what do you see? You see death and dying. Our kids are being exposed to video games that are of death and dying. Kids are being desensitized at a very, very young age. And then they grow up and they continue to replicate these patterns until they believe that it is their norm. And when you have parents who are inadvertently feeding into this because that is what they have been fed, then the pattern, the cycle just gets worse and worse. The hole gets deeper and deeper. So when you can teach someone that the that life is supposed to be fun, that life is supposed to be full of love and joy and peace and harmony, if you can just help them to just try and tap in just a little bit, that compounding effect of how that massive release of oxytocin and all of these happy chemicals is, it just gets better and better and better. And all you need is just a little bitty taste of it for you to just be inclined to dip in and just keep going. And it really does it's a snowball effect. Just like negativity is a snowball effect, positivity is a snowball effect. You do not have to be defined by the stories that you have been told. The nature of the world is love. It's pure. We come from pure love. And if
Yeah,
you can just tap into that a little bit and let that grow, you will feel that it is your true nature. But you've got to give it a chance.
yes, yes. Because they don't understand English, they are telling to me they want to speak so fluent on English like you. Yes. So yes, you are giving them an example of how to be fluid too, no? Okay, they ask you where are you from? Where are you from?
I live in the U.S. in Indiana, so kind of right. They call it the crossroads of America. I live in a pretty small city, much smaller than Chicago, um, in a little residential area with a park right across the street. I used to live in a very, very rough part of town. Not very, very, but a kind of rough part of town. And because I shifted my behaviors, my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, I was able to shift the world around me. And now I live in a really nice house with my three kids with the most amazing park right across the street.
Yes, maybe I can translate all that in another program, then we do the interview, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Well, we talk about abundance. Well, I can say to bueno, da igual. In another way, I said to them, abundance. Okay, what do you think about the pandemic? Okay, this is a little controversial, maybe, but I think we need it because maybe in Spain now we have toque de queda. What is toque de queda? Now we cannot go outside on the night. At 10 o'clock, I think, p.m. we have to stay in house, till 7 in the morning or something like that. If not, the police do you something. No, I don't know exactly if they arrest you or something like that. I'm not sure. You can be honest here now. It's not really about the virus, but if it's real or not, this is not really the debate. But what do you really think? Some people say this is about control of the population. Some people say no, this is perfect. Can you say to us what is really happening now? Because to me, it doesn't resonate the official version.
Um, so I definitely think that there is something so much deeper than we will ever really fully know is going on. I do energetically feel that we are definitely not being told the full truth. I'm not being fully sold on the statistics, the hype that is going on. And I do have to be very intentional about not going too deep into that rabbit hole. It's important to be aware, it's important to be educated, but again, it's also important not to trade your vibration for that, for
Yeah.
going too deep in that, because frankly, what is happening because of a massive shift in consciousness within the planet that we have all fed into. We have all been an active part in creating the bigger picture because that is how things work. That is the nature of how collective consciousness works. So you can either go into the negative and go very deep into the negative, or you can choose to stay in a vibrational place that is going to lift up the collective consciousness of the planet, that is going to help shift that. And there are people who are meant for all roles. There are people who are meant to be on the front lines of making change. There are people who are meant to make videos about exactly what's going on and what the corruption is, and educate those people. And there are people who are there to serve that role. But I know for me, as a single mom, creating a positive space for her kids, the best thing that I can do, and my role in all of this, is to stay in a positive frame of mind. And change starts at home. So what are we doing? We empower ourselves, we empower our kids, we give them the tools that they need in order to cope difficult situation like this. My kids, I have one of my children is in school full time, going back to school. One of them is 50-50 virtual, 50 virtual, 50% going to school, and the other one is fully at home. So she chose virtual. So the best thing that we can do is help our kids cope in a meaningful way and listen to how they're feeling. It's all about how you're feeling. There are some people who can address what's going on, like the real depth of what's going on, and stay in a high vibe place because they know that they're doing their job. But then there are other people who can't go there because they're compromising how they're feeling, and then they're compromising how they are overflowing onto their family and their children. And that's me. Like, I will stay aware of what's going on, but I won't watch the news because I'm not doing that because it's all skewed. And I absolutely am just giving my kids the tools and listening to how they're feeling and teaching them how to cope with it. And that's really the best we can do, for those people who um, are really upset and freaked out and feel really stuck when they have to be at home at night at a certain time. And that really it does suck, and I fully acknowledge that and empathize with you. But you've got to find a way to go to a different place. That's the only way that you're going to save yourself and empower the people around you, is to go to a different place.
Yes.
And whether that's through visualization or meditation or writing affirmations, there are things that we can do to help lift us up and get us through.
Yes, for example, now, well, they asked you to ask me that. I said, I'm asking already. They want the same question because that affects us too. For example, now I'm seeing on the videos some people in Spain are not taking this well because they go into manifestations against the police, violence, I don't know in English, like wow, I can send you the videos, is terrific, a lot of rage. And some people think that is the way, no? You already answered that, but yes, do you think this is really the way, go against, I don't think that is the way either, going against the police. Why, there is no
Right.
point in that, I think.
It just contributes to negative momentum.
Yes,
You can't fix a problem with another problem, right?
yes.
So
Be,
if we just
tell,
keep
tell.
that downward spiral, all you're doing is contributing to the downward spiral.
Yes, because now even I follow a lawyer, lawyer, the law lawyer on YouTube, who he always talk about this, but it's exactly that. For example, now they close his channel for a days, because the momentum. Yes, I want to focus on the momentum. Maybe people don't know about vibration. Yes, so yes, I want people to know. She knows about this too. The momentum. Maybe you can explain to people what is momentum, because I know some people don't know what is momentum.
Okay. I think a good analogy is, so have you ever had the kind of morning where you woke up, you felt a little bit off, you could feel inside of you that something wasn't quite right, and then you got out of bed and you were walking to the bathroom and you stubbed your toe, and then you got pissed off about it, and you maybe hollered a little bit, maybe cursed a little bit, and then you go outside and your tire's half flat. Okay, this is momentum. This is when you get into an energetic space and you don't intentionally pivot. You don't intentionally stop and reverse that momentum. So it just keeps snowballing. I know we've all had those days where it seemed like the day got worse and worse and worse and worse. And so I'm a nurse, and I have been able to reduce my days in the hospital. And that was originally catapulted because of COVID, because the atmosphere is already difficult within healthcare, but it became even more difficult. And so what I found is that when I used to go to work and I would go into work expecting to have a bad day, because that's what I was used to, my day would suck. My day would start out bad, and then someone would start bleeding, and I couldn't control the bleeding. And then, someone's wound would bust open, and then there would be a code. Like, it would just get worse and worse and worse. But now, my days as a nurse are of ease and flow. Even if there is a code, it runs in a way that is divine and smooth because of the space that I am in. So before I go to work, I say, today is going to be an amazing day. Something magical is going to happen. I am so grateful and thankful that I had an amazing day. And so what happens is I have an amazing day. And if something starts to shift for me, I stop, I take a deep breath, and I don't allow the momentum to go in that direction. And you know what it's as simple as doing? Think a happy thought. Turn on a song that you love that's positive and uplifting. just take a deep breath and hold it for 5 seconds. That way you stop that fight or flight response in your body. I mean, there are so many tools that we can use to stop. Does that make sense to you? Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, yes. No sé si entendéis, bueno, no, they are not going to understand in English. Another program I will explain, but yes, yes, I understand momentum. Yes, you have to change the direction of thoughts. Yes, thoughts, energy, because also that thoughts can lead you to action. Yes, and then the action get more momentum, and then you get into travel and more travel and more travel and more travel, and it's a never ending loop. Yes, and yes, that's the momentum. And maybe something as simple as change the momentum, maybe some people don't know about you actually can change the momentum. Yes, and I think we youtubers, whatever label, we have a responsibility too on what we do on the videos, because the video also have a momentum. Yes, and people can pick that momentum, and maybe even if the intention is good as this lawyer, but he's creating negative momentum, and I
Yeah.
can know his followers are into rage, no, like, oh, but that rage, I don't think that's what we really want to create. And I love Inelia Benz too, if you like it, the comment of her. She says something very interesting, maybe you resonate with this. We don't have to fight the old structures, you know what I mean, like the old paradigm. Yes, some people think we have to fight the old paradigm to create the new, but not really. She says no, we create the new paradigm and let the old crumble by itself. So
Yes.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So just a confirmation that this really works, because there is the belief like, no, 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 I have to fight it. No, if I don't fight it, it will not go away. No, and it's
Yes.
actually the opposite. No.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So, a good example there would be, let's talk about the difference between collaboration and competition. So, within what I am doing in the online space, this collective group of conscious entrepreneurs, we are actively putting into action an atmosphere of collaboration. But we're not talking about how bad competition is, right? All of our momentum, all of our focus is about creating the space that we want, not crushing the old space that we no longer want. And so what's happening is, energetically, within this space, because we are lifting each other up, sharing all of the secrets, really empowering each other with one another's gifts, our whole space is based on collaboration. And so we are naturally helping fizzle out and dissolve the old paradigm. As people leave the old paradigm to join us, we're not saying to them, get rid of competition. We're saying, look at what we have over here. And they are naturally leaving that old paradigm to come to ours.
Yes, yes. For example, it's very true. I think some people or people in general, we don't realize how how bad can be competition. Is really harmful at a physical level, emotional level, at all levels. And I still see that on Twitch, like people still are on competition. Oh, how many viewers you have? Oh, I have more viewers than you. Oh, you have zero viewers, someone told me before, no? And this is a competition. Then, hola, Bad Ruby, another guy enter now. Uy, estamos hablando en inglés. Si quieres hacerle alguna pregunta, yo se la hago y se la traduzco. Okay, what I was saying. Competition, no? And maybe, yes, we can give an example that if we give this energy of win-win, I win, you win, people win, the world expands, and connected with the abundance, it will create more abundance to everybody, yes, because maybe that comes from the scarcity mind level, no, like, oh, I have to be in a competition, if not, this person will have more than me, I have to take it away from her, ha ha ha, I want everything for me, but
Yeah.
if she learns more, then I can receive, so it will benefit. If she have more, I will have more too,
Right.
then that's the mindset, no? I don't know if it will take much time in this to be in the physical level, but if we are doing this step, as Bashar says, for example, no, like act on your highest excitement, if we are doing an action, going live to do this action, not only in the mind but in the action, this, and people can know this, it gain more momentum, it's not the same having an idea that really putting out, like, okay, I'm doing this step, I don't know the outcome, I don't know if I will have one viewer, zero viewer, or 1 million viewers. That's not the thing is something we are excited about, and people can feel it, and then maybe we can resonate with that, and really we create this momentum, of euphoria, ecstasy even, and getting used to this energy of being happy,
Yeah. Yeah. So isn't it really about attraction? It's about this new concept of attraction marketing that when you can get yourself into a good vibrational place, you naturally draw in what is meant for you. So it's the law of attraction. Like attracts unto like. If you are a positive person with a positive message, and that's truly where you're sitting, and that's truly what you're embodying when you are present here, that is what you are going to draw into you. So, another analogy, I just recently did this training through an energetic healer named Glenn Thomas. He's amazing. The analogy that he used is he said, I was sitting at a cafe once, and there was this group of birds that had created their own world of scarcity right next to this cafe. So what happened is these birds were fighting over, morsels, crumbs that were being dropped by the patrons that were eating at the restaurant. And they were fighting over the crumbs, always fighting over the crumbs. They looked like they were in this state of like constant fear. But then he looked over, and there's this big open area of natural grass and berries and whatever else, and these other birds were flourishing in their natural state. So this one group of birds,
Muchas gracias.
sorry. This is
it's okay.
someone following us there.
So you create your own reality. You create your own, and this group had created this reality of scarcity, but because they didn't know what was right over there on the other side, which was the natural state of abundance.
Mm.
And so, even just you and I having this conversation shifts is part of shifting the collective consciousness. One person has a dramatic effect on that. And so when you can operate from a space of the true nature of abundance and understand and really believe, like you may not believe this stuff at first, but eventually you will believe it. You will convince yourself, you will feel it, and you will embody it. And you will notice, you will connect how you are feeling and how your viewership and how your progress is online, because I can always feel it. Whenever I post anything on Facebook, I try to get into a very good vibrational space, which for me is usually like doing a short meditation. I don't post anything unless I'm in a good space, because I know that that message carries a massive vibration with it. And if I'm issuing a message coming from a space of fear or scarcity, there will be hardly a response. But if I get myself into this very high vibration, positive, happy space and then write it and post it, the response is massive every single time.
Yes, thank you. We have some responses. Someone says, "Is a dog eat dog world, mate?" You know the concept.
No, say that again.
Is a dog eat dog world, mate? You know that? Like the dog eat the dogs,
Oh,
the
yes. Yes.
competition.
I
They
understand.
are saying that like this world operates like that, you know. So
Okay. And listen, you can, that can be your truth. You know why? Because you create your own truth. So if you continue to believe that the world is that, it will be that for you. I have a friend who got really upset with me because I allow my kids to go across the street to the park by themselves, because she says people are jerks. And so my response to her was, as long as you have decided that people are jerks, they will be jerks to you. So until you decide, I mean, seriously, the power of the mind is, it is the only power that there is. So if you can get to a space where you can do some teaching, do some learning about light work, get on YouTube and watch some inspirational speakers like Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza, Wayne Dyer. If you will take the time to allow these people in through the cracks, it will change your life. But you can't change your life if you want that to remain your truth, because it's your choice. We have so much more power than we really know, because we are trained out of our power as we grow from little itty bitty humans into adults. We're constantly fed this idea that the world is running you, not that you are running the world. But in reality, what you think and hear perpetuates what is going on outside. This world is a mirror image of what you are thinking.
yes, they are appreciating you. I can feel it, you know. So this is different for them, because but I wanted to bring the light workers here. Can you talk about something very important? You already said, but I want to talk about this, about fear. You know, fear. I think now more than ever we are put a lot of fear. You know, about the virus, about the situation. You are going to die. This is terrible. You know, this is the paranoia. You know, can you, I don't know, explain what fear is about, why we have to have fear, etc. Can you bring something about fear?
Yeah, okay, so fear is something that protects us. Fear is an emotion that was designed to keep us safe, but we are raised in fear. You know, it is the natural tendency now. We have been so shifted from our natural state that we are raised in fear. You know, when we go to school, they tell us not what not to do, and they instill fear in us about that. And fear is good, it serves its purpose. But when you are so entrenched, when you are so drowned in fear, when every message that you are receiving is of fear, it is about control. And that truly is what the media, that is what, I don't know, whoever they are, the big they, it is about control. They don't want you to know the power that you have within. And when you let fear take over, that is when you lose all of your power. And so this seems so simple and so minuscule and so elementary, but I am going to tell you that when you can understand and tap into the fact that the way that you feel is from second to second, minute to minute, day to day, is the most important thing. If you can find a way to stay happy in the midst of all of the chaos around you will shift. We all live on our own timeline. We are all living in our own reality. And I can exemplify that by telling you, look at the way that COVID has affected some and affected others. We have people living in different realities. Some people have lost everything because of COVID. Some people are now working out of their home doing a job that they used to do in an office, but they're completely content, they're completely happy, and they're completely uplifted by working at home. There are some people who have lost their job in an office but gained an online position and now are making more money than they ever have made. And this is all because we are living, creating our own realities, and it's about choosing how we feel. Choosing how we feel. If you can get to a space where your feeling is from within and you can maintain a sense of happiness no matter what is going on around you, you have ignited your power. You have ignited your power. And um, my situation, just to give you a little bit of light of where I come from, is I was in a very destructive, verbally abusive, negative relationship for many years. And I fully recognize my part in that because I was feeding into a cycle of fear, a cycle of disempowerment, a cycle of negativity. And do you know how I stopped it? I went inside. I decided that I was done being an angry, victimized person. I decided that I was ready to change my life and feel happy no matter what, because I owed that to myself. And in learning that, now, do we have difficult days and difficult times? Absolutely, we do. But then you stop and you use the tools to help you stay in a decent space. Just feel as good as you can. That's what it's simple but not. If you can just seek to feel as good as you can. If you're in a hard situation, think the happiest thought you can find. Think about your dog or your puppy or your kitten, or think about sitting and petting that. And I'm telling you, it will raise your vibration.
Yes, I know. They are learning English today with you. They are telling like, oh. After I will say si queréis preguntarle algo, quedan 10 minutos de entrevista con ella, podéis enviarme las preguntas y es una oportunidad, ¿eh? Es gratuito, aprovechad. Venga, preguntas. Okay, I'm telling them to ask you, you know. Eh, ok, si tenéis alguna. Claro, es que si no os estáis enterando, pero bueno, luego comentaré qué es lo que está diciendo. Okay, we have 10 minutes left of the hour you said, okay? We respect our time and we appreciate. And when we become rich, this is the purpose of this program to become rich, you know? So it's a joke. Okay. Do you know the definition of Basar about abundance? No, like they say, is it not always come in the form of money? You know this. Sometimes
Absolutely.
yes, because if we are focused on only money, maybe we block another form of abundance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and it's money is scary to a lot of people. So I find it's easier to think of money as a vibration, not a thing. And so if you can get yourself into a state of abundance, it's going to naturally allow other things in. So I have a good question for you. If money was a friend of yours and you treated money as a person the way that you treat money as a thing, would they stay around?
Very good question. Very good
Right?
question. Yeah, yes, I can. Well, I have to answer. Well, I'm working on that. Before, no. Before the money will run away of me, I can tell you. This is the truth. But I'm working on reconciliate myself with the energy of money because it's true we were programmed, no? Like money is dirty, spiritual people cannot touch money, money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
corruption, money is corruption, families fight for the money, if you have money you will lose friends, blah blah blah, everybody want to take profit of me, then we block the money,
Yeah.
so this is a good exercise. After I will say to them in Spanish, eh, bueno, está diciendo que si trataríais al dinero como un amigo, si el amigo se iría corriendo o se quedaría. Luego lo explico mejor. Ok, they don't ask anything, so they are complaining a lot. Bueno, a lot. They are complaining like they don't understand English, but they want to learn. Maybe we can do an English course too. Okay, so do you want to ask something to them or to me? So to do something different or not? Or do you want another question?
Well, so let's talk about kids.
Yes,
What what
yes.
do you have thoughts? Do they have thoughts about how we can teach this stuff to our kids? How do we shift the paradigm for our kids? Do they want to do that?
Yes.
Ask, ask them that. Like, do they have any ideas? I'd love to just kind of see
A
what
ver,
they think or what you think.
yes. A ver, ella se dedica a enseñar a niños este tipo de contenido, ¿no? Un poco metafísico. Luego, si queréis, os lo explico, aunque un poco se entiende. Me está preguntando que cómo enseñaríais a un niño todo este tipo de cosas, de ser abundante, de no tener que estar en la competición, de que el mundo no es tan terrible como nos han enseñado toda la vida, nosotros también, yo he sufrido todo eso, ¿vale? Entonces me está preguntando que cómo le enseñarías a un niño todo esto. Well, my first answer is by example, no? Maybe that's by example. By example, if I will have a son, I don't know. If my son sees I'm happy, by example, they can learn from me, no? I don't want to complain about my parents, but you can imagine how well me and my parents. So I want to do the opposite. Well, I know I want to be myself, no? And by example, and they say I don't know what to ask. They don't know. Maybe they are a bit impressed because maybe you are the first like worker to I come here to Twitch. At first I was practicing how to do programs, and now I'm doing this. What more I can say? By example, and also a very important thing is, or a lesson in my path is, don't fake it. Don't fake it. Yes, because for example, when we enter the spirituality, there is people who fake it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, I'm happy. No, you are not. Oh, I appreciate you. No, you are not in that vibration. Then I think it's better if we are honest. Okay, I feel bad. Yes, I feel very bad. My mother this did to me, or my girlfriend left me, or whatever. Now I feel very bad. So maybe the little people, if we teach them that way, like, okay, now I feel bad. Yes, you can feel I feel bad, no? And being honest communication, because do you know we were teaching in the lies. Oh,
Yeah,
I love you so much, and then they are shouting to you, or an aggression. How they love me if they are aggression to me? You know what I mean? That's very confusing for a child.
absolutely. It is. The best tools that I've used it's all been a very organic process. Like, it's all has just kind of come together with my kids. I've not force fed them anything. I've not sat them down and said, this is our new way of life. Our children are so close to the light because they're younger than us. They were there inside of pure love, right? Not as long ago as we were, and they're not quite as programmed as we are. And so it really is quite beautiful, the unfolding, when you start helping your kids and empowering them, because they very naturally take it on. And what I have found, to shift my language, think about what you're about to say before you say it to your kids. If my kids want something and we don't have the money at that moment, I used to be like, no, we're not doing that. We don't have the money for that. It's too expensive. And my tone was negative.
Yeah.
And I just don't do that anymore. I say things like, we're not going to spend our money on that right now.
Yes.
Um, and I used to tell my kids money doesn't grow on trees. Don't say stuff like that.
My mother always said to me, I have to say the truth. You don't deserve it. I was told by my mother that you don't deserve it. Even if you work very hard, there is something missing always, or you miss that, then I'm not going to give you what I said to you.
Yeah.
That's very hurtful. I had to work on me about that. And also, no, I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, there is other examples like that, no? Like you grow up with the belief that you are never enough. Like, you have to do something more. So then you spend all your energy doing because have to prove you are worthy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And so that takes me to another point is teach your kids to be in the quiet. How often are your kids in the quiet? If if you teach your kids to be in the quiet, whether that's just through sitting silently for a little while, saying a prayer, or meditating, when you do that, you allow divine knowledge to flow through you, and that helps with self-worth. I mean, what a wonderful way for a child to learn self-worth. You don't want them to learn that from the outside world. You
Yes.
want that to be something that's very internal,
Yes.
you know?
I want to say this, talking about kids, before you go, because this is important. For example, in Spain, before the pandemics, I could notice, well, my case is different. I was treated other way. I have an abusive mother too, and anyways, that's still painful for me. But anyways, we go into that now. But in Spain now, or before the pandemic, I could notice some families were always sending activities for the children. They went into school and they go into sport, learn this, learn that, like all the time were full of activities. You know what I mean? For me, it was like the children were something a burden, like you are molesting me, then this is I experienced that too, like you are a burden to your family, and the children are not dumb. We noticed that, no? Then I don't know, can you say something to the families like, look, it's your children, it's not something to get rid of.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We like bombard our kids with busy activities that don't foster that inner voice. They're being told what to do and how to do it all day long. And they're given busy activities all day long. They're disconnecting from nature. We're not letting our kids go outside enough. And I take huge issue with that. Ideally, I would just be like an unschooling mother and keep all three of my kids at home. But I'm not the only one who has a decision there. So I fully acknowledge that for people. I know I'm not the only one in that situation. And really, we are programmed to believe that school is the best thing for our kids, that sending them to school and doing all of these activities in the evening and really jam packing their schedules is what we should do. But in reality, if you don't give your child time and encourage them to stop, they lose the connection with the power inside of them. The quiet is the power. The
Mm,
quiet is what allows them internal guidance to not have a teacher to tell them what they should and shouldn't do. and,
yes.
or and even to have parents to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. I really try to encourage my kids when they're doing something wrong or something they shouldn't be doing. Instead of me telling them don't do that, I ask them about how it makes them feel or about how they made the other person feel. And so that way, when they're listening to their heart, they're really forming that connection inside so that they can self-regulate and that they can like not only survive but thrive in the world.
Yes. I
And some parents have shame around not having their kids in enough activities. And I can't stand that because it's programming. Like, it's okay to spend the day at home and just relax and do nothing and go play outside, and sit on the earth. Like, these are good things. We really need to go back to these things.
Yes. For example, if people stop something we were experiencing by the pandemic and the lockdown, yes, I could notice some families could not be together. My own family, I had a problem. I will tell you maybe after. People were families were not used to be together.
Yeah.
So that was how to say a contest, no? Like, oh, how I'm going to spend all that time with the children. So maybe we were forced to be with the children or the families, no? And maybe this way, some people we see the reality like people don't get well alone. If I'm a father, why my children is something to get rid of. So yes, that's some question I had to know, like why people have children, no? I don't know. Maybe do you think it's a programming, a programmation? Do you think it's something we
Yeah.
were programmed by the media, by the schools, by everybody? This. So do you think the fathers have not really a bad intention? Do you think it's only a programmation?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with programming. And I don't know what it is energetically, but from what I am seeing, and this is a gross generalization, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it anyway. Most of the women, or most of the people in my business, are women. There is something about the feminine energy right now that is far more likely to grasp this paradigm shift. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that this masculine way of like force and brute and competition, it is a very masculine principle. Not that all men are like that, but it is a very masculine principle. And we need such a change, and the world is so ready for a change, and it's almost like we're jumping to the other side of this, like, nurturing, feminine, open listening is what we're doing. We're seem to be doing a lot more listening, and that just naturally is, for the most part, a more feminine attribute. So when I look at my friends and I look at my family, it's the women who are more open to this change than the men at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's like stubbornness. I don't really know how to explain that at this point, but I think it has a lot to do with programming. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, maybe ask you the last question. You
Okay.
for not consuming more time. A very general question is not about kids. Someone have a question. Anyways, someone. Okay, I tell the people question. Okay. Um I got a question. Say, but Ruby 28. What does feminism mean to you? What does feminism mean to you? Someone asked. You understand what I'm saying? Feminism.
Yeah. So
What is
like
about?
the
Yeah.
like what is family? What is the
No,
concept of family?
feminism. No,
Feminism.
feminism. Yes.
Feminism. Okay. It's interesting you asked that question because I was thinking about this earlier today, and I have really been like activating this like divine feminine leadership within myself. And the word feminism, I think, is very skewed because of this old feminist movement that has this like blanket of concepts associated with it. And I'm no like scholar of feminism. I don't know exactly what that means, but I do feel that due to programming, there is a lot of negative connotation surrounding the word feminism because of this feminist movement in the past. For me, feminism it embodies those attributes that I mentioned earlier of very heart centered, listening, quiet, gentle, storytelling. That is what feminism is. It's a collaboration, is what I think of when I think of feminism. I think of the gentle leadership of a mother.
Yes. ¿Os habéis enterado o no? ¿Da respuesta a la pregunta o no? I hope they understood. Yes, they are learning English today, I tell you. So they say great answer, they are pleased with with the answer. So okay, something more, or I don't want to take your time, but if you want to come another time, we are open to you, of course. You can follow her on her page, is on the title, okay? And I don't know, I hope everybody had a great time. Do you want to say something more?
I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate everyone honoring me with their time and asking questions. And I really, really am just sending you all massive love and light, and just claim your power and know your power. It all starts in here. You shift this, and everything else shifts for you. And I love you guys.
Well, thank you. My applause, applause. Okay, thank you for being here. And I don't know, you know already where we are. And I wanted to create something, because as creators, we have to be the proof. If we are creators, let's create
Yes,
and not wait for someone to save us or to create for us. It's not going to happen. Do you agree?
right.
Nobody is
Absolutely.
going to create in your reality because we create our realities.
That's right.
So we want to give this message of empowerment, and it's possible. The message of today is possible. She's the proof that it's possible. A person who was abused, I was abused too, they know already. So if we can do it, you can do it too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you. Clap, clap. They are clapping. Well, you can stay if you want, no problem. Or we say bye. Bueno, hasta luego. See you. Or I don't know. Understand or no? You understand
Yeah,
English,
yeah.
Spanish.
No,
The next time we talk in Spanish, if you want. Okay.
yeah,
I close the video then, or what do you want to do?
yeah. I'm gonna go get my kid.
Okay. Thank you for all, and see you on the next program. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Ok, a ver, ya estamos. Hola, hola, hola. A ver, un momento que me pongo aquí. Ha finalizado la llamada, pero aquí sigo yo, ¿vale? Para no cerrar así tan abruptamente. Un momento. El vídeo, bueno, esta es su foto, como veis. Espectacular. Y aquí el vídeo de la llama violeta, ¿no? Que me pongo aquí, por si hay alguna duda de lo que ha estado diciendo en, en inglés y tal. Bueno, me pondré aquí, ¿vale? Bueno, no sé, o me pondré lo de ella para tal. Venga, muy bien. A ver, un momento. Bueno, igual no os habéis enterado, no lo sé, pero ella habla en inglés, ¿no? Es de Estados Unidos, es de Chicago y tal. Entonces, que por cierto, a mí me encanta el house de Chicago y conozco gente de allí. Y bueno, quería hacerlo en inglés porque ella no sabe español. Espero que lo entendáis, pero me ha dicho que quiere aprender español, así que un 50-50. Nosotros aprendemos inglés y ella entiende español. Supongo que colaboraremos más con ella, y si tenéis ahora alguna pregunta de lo que hemos hablado o tal, pues un poco tenemos tiempo de explicarlo un poco, ¿no? No sé si poner esto que estamos en español o la bacteria, por cierto. Estaba ahí con la entrevista. Estamos, a ver, voy a ponerlo en español, ¿vale? Estamos aquí en español. Así tal. bueno, podías preguntar lo que fuera, es una oportunidad, ¿vale? O sea que, en fin, era bastante guay, ¿no? Si queréis lo explico un poco. Le he hablado sobre el momentum. El momentum, ¿sabéis lo que es o no? Bueno, he hablado un montón de cosas, ¿no? Si vais preguntando, pues contestaré, ¿no? A ver qué me dice por aquí, que creo que está hablando. Por cierto, la entrevista ha sido improvisada, no teníamos nada preparado, ¿vale? Al final, casi a lo que se dedica ella, que es esto de enseñar a los niños, es de lo que menos hemos hablado, pero bueno, no pasa nada, ¿no? Al final sí que hemos hablado un poco de eso, de niños y tal, de cómo educar a los niños en este tipo de conocimiento. Claro, ojalá yo hubiera sido enseñado así, ¿vale? Pero no ha sido el caso. Así que, en fin, las nuevas generaciones quizá lo tendrán mejor que nosotros. Lo tuvimos. A ver. Un resumen. Buah, es que hablaba muchas cosas. Pues básicamente habla de lo que yo he hablado a veces aquí, de cómo crear tu realidad, ¿no? Lo que ella está diciendo es que cómo nos sentimos influye mucho en el outcome, en el exterior, ¿no? Entonces lo que está diciendo es el momentum. ¿Qué es el momentum? Pues el momentum es cuando por ejemplo, estás muy cabreado, ¿no? Pues eso tiene una inercia, un momentum, ¿no? Entonces se trata de cambiar el momentum, ¿no? Que es lo que decíamos aquí con Bacteria, que le decíamos a alguien que no ejecutara lo que pretendía hacer porque era una locura, ¿no? Eso sería cambiar el momentum. Pues date una ducha, olvídate de lo que estás pensando y siéntete mejor, ¿no? En ese sentido, a veces nos olvidamos, yo incluido, de que el momentum se puede cambiar, ¿no? O si te ha dejado la novia, es que no me ha dejado la novia, no me quiere, tal, no sé qué, pues te estás sintiendo muy mal, pues cambia el momentum. Pues por ejemplo, enfócate de otra forma. Bueno, mi novia no me quiere y a mí qué coño me importa. Me voy a ir con la vecina, que está más buena, aunque suene así vulgar, ¿no? Pero se entiende, ¿no? Es un ejemplo, es decir, o que yo qué sé, o que le he escrito a mi jefe y me ha hablado mal y me siento fatal, pues cambia el enfoque. Bueno, me ha tratado mal, pero el perro me trata bien, por ejemplo, ¿no? Es decir, cambiar el momentum y todo ha surgido por el tema de las manifestaciones, que aquí en España está habiendo mucho lío, lo veo en los vídeos por internet, que están habiendo disturbios y tal, y lo que estaba diciendo, lo que estábamos diciendo es que esa tampoco es la forma, ¿no? Que liar la parda y como lo están haciendo algunos, no es la forma de cambiar la realidad, porque lo que estábamos diciendo es que eso solo va a generar más problemas y tenernos ahí en ese tipo de energía, ¿no? En ese tipo de energía conflictiva, ¿no? Entonces lo que estaba diciendo es que creemos la realidad que queremos crear, ¿no? Pues si queremos amor, por ejemplo, viviremos en la forma del amor, ¿no? Si queremos que no haya conflicto, pues no generemos más conflictos, ¿no? Porque un poco lo que estaba diciendo es que sí somos seres poderosos, es decir, que lo que hemos dicho al final es que nadie va a venir a crear nuestra vida, lo digo así de forma simple, por nosotros. Nosotros estamos creando nuestra vida, ¿no? Entonces al final me ha dado las gracias por crear este espacio, ¿no? Y un poco va por ahí, a ver. Pues sí, lo de la madre, un poco como la mía, a veces he hablado de eso, ¿no? Pues que tuvo, no sé, una madre o padres abusivos y yo lo puedo notar, porque lo puedo notar,
Estos
¿no?
son los
Un
principales
momento, wow,
resultados.
lo puedo notar, ¿no? Entonces, pues que tuvo una familia abusiva, ¿no? Que un poco el ejemplo de que aunque hayas tenido una familia abusiva, no significa que tengas que estar en la M toda la vida. Es decir, que a pesar de eso, ella dice que decidió en un momento que iba a ser feliz, ¿no? Y en ese sentido también es un ejemplo, es un poco lo que he decidido yo también, ¿no? Si algunos me llaman loco es porque soy feliz a mi manera, a mi forma, poco a poco, ¿vale? Y yo también lo decidí, dije, bueno, se acabó el victimismo, se acabó todo lo que me han hecho o no me han hecho, y voy a ser feliz poco a poco, un día a día, un poco cada vez más, ¿no? Y un poco por ahí, si tenéis más preguntas, no sé, hemos hablado tantas cosas sobre el momentum, ya no me acuerdo, de cómo a lo mejor ella hablaba a sus niños pues de forma en el fondo, vamos a decir, violenta, ¿no? Que les decían, pues no, no hay dinero, no puedes hacer esto, que es lo que me decía de mi madre, todo no se puede, ¿no? Pues ese todo no se puede es como un ataque, ¿no? Tú paraliza al niño, no, todo no se puede, ¿qué pasa? Que sí que hemos tenido familias que nos han educado así, ¿vale? Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Que luego vamos con esos programas, pues de que todo no se puede, ¿verdad? Que esto no puede ser, que bla, 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 bla. Luego te haces mayor y efectivamente no puedes. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Que ella lo que se dedica es un poco también como yo, ¿por qué no decirlo? A veces, a ratos, pues tipo life coaching, pero solo que ella se enfoca más en los niños, quizá por lo que ella vivió. Claro, lo que pretenderá es que quizá los niños no pasen por lo que ya pasó, no lo sé. Yo en ese sentido, pues soy general, ¿no? No es que me enfoque en los niños, yo un poco todo, pero sí me viene bien porque aquí sí que han entrado muchos niños a veces y muchas veces no sabes cómo hablarles, ¿no? En ese sentido, pues ella sería más experta aún que yo, por qué no decirlo. Y también estábamos hablando de la competición, ¿no? Del daño que hace la competición, ¿no? De que muchas veces se compite y nosotros lo que estábamos creando aquí es un tema de no competir, ¿no? Que ves que nos podemos apoyar unos a otros y sale una colaboración, ¿no? No necesariamente con la energía de la competición, ¿no? Que eso pasa mucho, ¿no? De que vamos a competir con este, tal, pues no, una energía que no hay competición y no significa que no te puedas divertir, porque te puedes divertir igual, yo creo que la habéis pasado bien, aunque no hayáis entendido mucho, no lo sé, cuando os habéis quedado que os ha gustado, ¿no? En ese sentido, tal. Y quiero contestar una pregunta, eso no es que seamos unos buenazos, como dijo el otro día, ¿no? Nosotros también tenemos problemas, pero intentamos hacerlo lo mejor que podemos. A ver, dice la competencia sana es buena, yo creo. A ver, desarrolla eso. ¿Qué es la competencia sana? A ver, ahora te pongo yo aquí en un aprieto, a ver. Y me está diciendo que ella ha terminado a la 111 y ahora son las 19:19, o sea que alineación. Ah, amigo, claro que te he pillado. O sea, si vamos aquí de Lightworkers, pues vamos a mostrar nuestra luz. Si quieres, te lo digo, ya que estamos haciendo el programa. ¿Te lo digo mi verdad? ¿O qué? No existe la competencia sana. Eso es como el que dice, yo te digo mi verdad, ¿eh? Tú puedes decir la tuya, ¿eh? Sin ofender, pero dice, es que es la competencia sana, como que dice, es que te tengo una envidia sana, eso lo habéis escuchado, ¿no? Te tengo envidia sana, ¿qué pasa? ¿Que está la sana y la insana? No, eso es un eufemismo, es una forma de decir más pillado, ¿ves? Entonces, no existe. Si tienes envidia y es envidia, ¿vale? Yo también he tenido envidia. O si estás compitiendo, estás compitiendo. No existe, bueno, es que esta competición es más suave. Pero es competición, al fin y al cabo, ¿no? En ese sentido, a ver si me explico. No es que la competición está mal, la competición es competición, pero ya sabemos que la competición es esto, la competición es conflicto, ¿sí? No sé si estamos de acuerdo. La competición es un conflicto siempre, ¿no? En ese sentido creo que lo hemos demostrado. Si he invitado aquí a Bacteria, a la chica de antes que se ha ido, por cierto, no sé si es que no entendía, yo creo que sí. Creo que ellos lo han sentido, que a pesar de también ser streamers como yo, creo que han notado que yo no competía con ellos, ¿vale? Porque es un poco lo que yo quiero crear aquí, un espacio donde no compitamos. ¿Significa eso que nunca va a pasar nada? Pues no, porque seguro que alguien tiene un día un mal día o dice algo, lo que sea, eso es casi que inevitable, ¿no? Pero sí que un poco el tono que fuera un poco de no competición, ¿vale? A ver, pero bueno, podéis seguir preguntando, podéis seguir hablando, ¿eh? Que no, esto no es un monólogo, esto es simplemente, pues si no habéis entendido algo, pues ahora aclaro las dudas. Y un poco yo también atreverme a mostrar aquí mis colores verdaderos, porque a mí este tipo de cosas me gustan, ya lo sabéis. Y digo, coño, pues voy a traerla. Me dijo que sí al instante, ¿vale? No me dijo, o sea, me dijo que sí al instante y así ha sido. O sea que ves, cuando una persona quiere hacer algo, no pone pegas, ni pone dudas, ni pone trabas, ni pone excusas, lo voy a decir, ¿vale? Que no es que quiera hablar de bacterias y se ha ido ya, que no lo sé, pero hablábamos el otro día sobre la procrastinación, ¿no? El que quiere hacer algo no tiene por qué procrastinarlo. Y bueno, pues queremos hacerlo, vale, aquí ahora a las 6 pues a las 6 nos hemos puesto de acuerdo y así ha sido, no es tan difícil. Sigan haciendo preguntas si quieren. Vamos a ver qué hay por aquí. Bacteria ya se ha ido, como me esperaba. Sigue Barrubi aquí. Arhome V2, no le conozco. Una persona me decía que yo parecía el Che Guevara, por cierto. Saludos a esa persona. Y Andrés Fútbol 18 sigue aquí. Dice, la próxima entrevista, ¿cuándo será? Pues muy buena pregunta. Sí que hay gente por entrevistar, por ejemplo, una cantante de jazz, está también Miss Paddy que hace cocina, para que veáis que a mí me gusta hacer variedad, ¿no? Lo que aún no están cerradas las fechas, ¿vale? También depende de ellos, que me lo confirmen o no. Todavía no hay fecha, pero bueno, sí que hay varias entrevistas pendientes. Otra gente me ha dicho de salir en el programa. Y bueno, si alguien tiene algo que aportar, también les puedo entrevistar. Bad Ruby, me gustaría que te entrevistara. A ver, aunque no te conozca mucho, pero no sé, a lo mejor quieres salir. A mí me gusta entrevistar a gente, o sea que no sé, yo doy la opción. A ver, no he querido cerrar el programa abruptamente, aunque me imagino que la gente viene, ves, no quiere. Ah, por cierto, también hay otra entrevista pendiente, que es de una chica muy importante, bueno, si digo toda la explicación, sobre que tuvo un parto de 7 meses en la pandemia, ¿no? Que se ve que fue una experiencia para ella, como ha tenido un hijo en la pandemia. Y me puse un poco la excusa que decía que le daba vergüenza, pero a la vez le encanta hablar. Entonces estoy esperando que nos confirme, ¿vale? Pero si desde aquí, de verdad os lo digo, le enviáis un poco de energía positiva de, oye chica, por favor, que somos buena gente, ¿verdad? Y queremos escucharte, ¿no? Seguro que le llega y a lo mejor se decide, ¿vale? Si queréis verlo. Y sí, es muy importante ser honesto y sincero, ¿no? Si no quieres, pues no quieres, no pasa nada, no insistimos. Pero vamos, voy poniéndolo en el calendario. Hoy estaba puesto en el calendario, ¿vale? He podido ponerlo. Estaba puesto en el Instagram, estaba puesto en Facebook y estaba puesto en Discord. O sea que ves, ya lo voy poniendo. Cuando hay una cosa así, pues sí que lo aviso, ¿no? El calendario solo me permite ponerlo una semana. O sea, vamos, que si es viernes, no me permite ponerlo del lunes. Te lo tienes que poner en el momento. Por eso lo he puesto el lunes, ¿no? Es así el calendario de Twitch. Pero bueno, yo lo voy diciendo con mi voz, ¿no? Y no sé, lo he querido hacer en inglés porque no, ya te digo, ella no sabe español, pero quiere aprender. A ver, más preguntas, hagan preguntas. Ya que estamos aquí, no seáis tímidos y hagan preguntas. Si no sobre la entrevista, sobre lo que quieran. Así, digamos que disfrutamos. Que también, también hemos hablado eso sobre la energía de divertirse, ¿no? Sobre la energía de ser feliz, que nos han enseñado a que todo es una lucha, ¿no? Que todo cuesta mucho y que si no sufres no vale la pena, ¿no? Y estábamos diciendo, bueno, digo que yo lo sabía, pero bueno, da igual. Me he hecho un poco el longis, como si no lo supiera, pero bueno, así la he dejado hablar, creo que se ha notado. Pero bueno, también me viene bien que me lo recuerden, ¿eh? No os penséis que no, siempre me viene muy bien también, aparentemente de fuera, pero que de dentro, ¿no? Alguien que te lo dice también me viene bien, por supuesto, y se aprecia. Ella vivía en... No, yo no, yo vivo en España, pero ella vivía en Chicago, bueno, cerca de Chicago, ¿no? En Estados Unidos. En ese sentido, tal. Y hombre, le podía haber hecho más preguntas, pero como me había dicho que era una hora, pues bueno, se ha respetado el horario. Pero yo intuyo que sí que va a querer colaborar más veces, con lo cual si tenéis preguntas para ella, vayan preparándolas y no sé, cuando queráis o tal, pues tal y un poco para que veáis que mi intención sí es crear buen contenido, sí es crear buenas cosas, ¿verdad? Que le puedan servir también a la gente y eventualmente, hombre, si me puedo dedicar a esto, pues mejor, ¿no? Y si no, pues nada, yo he dado todo de mí, ¿no? Un poco lo que quiero decir, como hoy me ha dicho uno, una especie de troll, que me han hecho una raid troll, eso es la primera vez que me pasa, creo. Dices que Twitch no es un trabajo, bueno, esa es su definición. Para mí sí es un trabajo, porque todo esto lleva trabajo, o sea, es decir, organizar todo esto no es gratis, o sea, no os estoy pidiendo nada, ¿vale? Solo para que se entienda que no es gratis, es decir, el que yo contacte con ella, ponernos de acuerdo, que las agendas tal, siempre pasan un montón de cosas hasta que finalmente dice, venga, ahora sí lo hacemos, ¿sabes? Entonces, bueno, que no es tan fácil como parece, ¿no? Pero bueno, no sé por qué lo estoy diciendo esto. Bueno, pues porque me gusta hablar. ¿Qué cojones? Como a veces me critican también, que si dicen que no es un trabajo, mentira. Te paguen o no te paguen, un trabajo es. O sea, lleva trabajo, lleva esfuerzo lleva energía. Entonces, solo lo quiero decir para esa gente que ha criticado, ¿no? Que les insto a ellos a que hagan un programa como este o como otro y verán que un trabajo es. ¿Vale? Esos son los tipos haters, que se lo he dicho a ella. Digo, bueno, si viene un hater, ya sabes, tal. Y se ha reído, dice, ya, ya. Pero bueno, hemos tenido suerte, no ha venido ninguno, yo podría decir, ¿vale? Ha estado la cosa bastante buena, ¿no? En ese sentido, yo también os lo agradezco. Digo, coño, a ver, voy a traer aquí a la invitada estrella a ver con qué se encuentra, ¿no? Pero bueno, yo le estaba leyendo los mensajes, ella no los podía ver por su móvil porque estaba solo desde el móvil. Y bueno, creo que ha quedado bastante bien, ¿no? Hoy hemos hecho una cosa distinta en el sentido, ¿ves? Que me he quedado yo después. Normalmente siempre cierro la entrevista y ya está. Pero digo, ¿qué coño? Me voy a quedar aquí con los viewers, ¿no? Más que nada por el formato inglés-español, ¿no? A ver, ya. Pues hombre, Andrés Fútbol, la verdad es que no es por ir de sobrado, pero yo tuve una novia, no sé si su nombre, da igual, tuve una novia de Hawái, ¿vale? Y también tuve otra especie de novia de Arizona, yo siempre con las novias, ¿ves? Si es que la cabra tira al monte. El caso es que es verdad, yo no lo voy a negar. Entonces, con ellas aprendí mucho inglés. Entonces, la verdad es que no. O sea, yo la entendía a la perfección. E incluso, pues si se había dado cuenta, yo estaba también pendiente del chat. A veces ella me miraba como diciendo, no me haces caso. No, estaba haciendo caso a todo el mundo, creo que lo habéis notado. Lo que pasa que a veces, si ponía el chat, creo que se iba a la pantalla, ¿no? Por el tema de la configuración. Y tampoco podía hablaros mucho por ahí, pero bueno, lo he hecho lo mejor que he podido, creo que se ha notado, ¿no? Y en ese sentido, no, la entendía perfectamente. Entonces, si queréis aprender inglés, hombre, iba a decir, echaros una novia en inglés, pues sí. Y si no, me contratáis a mí como profesor y ya está. Pero bueno, no pasa nada. Viniendo al programa vais a aprender inglés porque hay mucha de este tipo de gente que no sabe español, por lo cual no queda más remedio que entrevistarles en inglés. Y creo que también viene bien, ¿no? Porque yo el inglés lo aprendí de esa forma también, no solo por las novias, sino porque había cierto contenido espiritual o no que solo estaba en inglés. Entonces, por eso me interesé. Pues nada, gracias por estar, Bad Ruby, y nos vemos en la siguiente. Pues si te ha gustado, me alegro, y en la siguiente será mejor. Trate a tus compañeros, trate a tus compañeras, trate chips, trate popcorn y disfrutaremos más. Nos vemos y tal. Pues no sé, de momento me he quedado por no cerrarlo aquí abruptamente. Vamos a ver quién queda por aquí. Andrés Fútbol, tal. Bueno, vamos a centrarnos en Andrés Fútbol. ¿Qué te ha parecido la movida Andrés Fútbol? Hasta he bebido batido en directo, imagínate si estaba a gusto. O sea, que ya como en mi casa, si es que es lo que estoy en mi casa. En fin, vamos a ver si le llega mi voz a Andrés Fútbol. Y nada, me está diciendo ella que somos amigos del alma, que somos mentes. Vamos, que es una especie de aprecio, ¿no? Esto se llama el momentum, ¿no? En vez de criticar y en vez de competir, si entre nosotros nos miramos los puntos fuertes, pues eso es un momentum positivo, ¿no? Que también se puede hacer, ¿no? Entonces me está diciendo, we are blowing minds. Es como diciendo, somos unos genios, pero eso no es para que tengas un ego enorme, sino para un tema de apreciación, para un tema de momentum positivo. Ya lo digo aquí. A ver, dice, sí, estuvo buena la entrevista y entendía más o menos el inglés. A ver, ¿has entendido algo? A ver, sé sincero, ¿has entendido algo o no has entendido nada? Me decías que querías hablar tan fluido como ella, pues hombre, if you want, we can talk in English too, you know? Podemos hablar en inglés si quieres. Y nada, hombre, la verdad que siempre lo noto. Cada vez que hay una entrevista, pues se nota, ¿no? Se nota en la gente, se nota en la energía, se nota en los viewers también, luego en la visita, no vamos a negarlo. Y bueno, la verdad es que me mola también, ¿no? Tampoco para no estar siempre solo, aunque solo no estar nunca, pero bueno, en fin, mola. También otras perspectivas, otras formas de ver las cosas, aunque es parecido también a lo mío, ¿no? Pero bueno, siempre mola, siempre hay otros detalles distintos, ¿no? Y nada, podéis hacer preguntas, venga, todavía hay un poco de tiempo, llevamos 1 hora 35 minutos. Ha sido en realidad poco tiempo, es decir, para a veces hacemos 5 horas o más, pero bueno, ha estado bastante bien. Yo estoy contento. No sé si luego la subiré a YouTube, pero bueno, se queda grabado en Twitch de momento. Y como decía, ahí tenéis su link, ¿vale? En el título, si la queréis seguir o lo que sea, vamos, de su contenido, ya me entendéis, pues ya sabéis. Y nada, pues contarme cosas, ya que estamos aquí. Ya he hablado yo mucho, contadme cosas. No seáis tan tímidos. Andrés Fútbol, cuéntanos. Hoy me he puesto los cascos, no os podréis quejar. Esto es para vosotros, jugadores. Es decir, me he puesto los cascos para que el retardo no os afecte, ¿no? Y en fin, sí que ha sonado una alerta ahí en la televisión, pero bueno, poco a poco. Así poco a poco nos podremos costear una silla gamer, ¿vale? Y no esta, pero bueno, de momento es lo que tengo. O sea, que es lo que hay. Contarnos, no seáis tímidos. O ser tímidos, me da igual. ¿Te diste cuenta de que? Ahora ya no sé a qué estás reaccionando. ¿Te diste cuenta de que? Como llega con un poco de retardo. Y nada, también estaba diciendo, a ver, a qué has contestado. También estaba diciendo que, bueno, espera, cuando contestes. Estaba diciendo que a veces se nos enseña a los niños, bueno, sí, yo me incluyo, a los niños se nos enseña a tener muchas actividades y nunca estar tranquilo, ¿no? Y dice que a veces el poder también viene en estar tranquilo, ¿no? En ese sentido, pues estoy de acuerdo. Eh, no significa que no te puedas mover, ¿no? Pero bueno, pues ya me dirás en qué estaba reaccionando. Después me dejan sin almuerzo. Bueno, no entiendo nada, ya me dirás lo del si me di cuenta, no sé a qué te refieres, pero bueno. ¿Queréis que hagamos una raid o no? A ver, hacemos aquí un consenso general. Vale, vamos a hacer una raid, aunque se han ido ya todos, pero bueno, yo quería hacerlo bien, quería contestar a preguntas, quería tal, aunque sabía que la gente se iba a ir, porque sé cómo funciona esto un poco ya con la experiencia que tenemos. Vamos a hacer la raid para quedar como señores, que es lo que somos, y tienes razón, ni caso a los haters. Y hombre, le podría hacer una raid a los de siempre, pero como siempre se haga a los de siempre, vamos a cambiar de raider, ¿vale? Y se la voy a hacer a esta persona que es también contenido retro. Ah, y también ha hablado sobre los videojuegos, esto lo quiero decir, ¿eh? Ojito, no resistáis, haced lo que queráis, de cómo se nos programa también con los videojuegos violentos. Ahí queda eso, y estoy de acuerdo. Yo a veces lo he dicho, yo lo quiero decir, haced lo que queráis, faltaba más, pero una experta nos confirma que sí afecta. Yo ahí os lo dejo. Es que es verdad, si no, no tal. Bueno, hacemos la raid. Por eso yo intento jugar juegos más razonables. Vale, nos vamos con Hatchlord. Hatchlord, Hatchlord. Y nada, gracias por estar y nos vemos en el siguiente stream. Hasta luego, hasta luego, hasta luego, hasta luego. Siguiente stream que será... ¿Cuándo será? Lo voy anunciando, ya lo sabéis. Hasta luego. Now is this where